McDonald's is ending its AI drive-thru experiment after customers start getting ice cream topped with bacon and $222 McNuggets bills as it becomes increasingly difficult to just order food using the AI system. I wanted to show you the Reddit headline here first because it's got the funniest image, but let's go to the article, which is the New York Post. So McDonald's is reportedly planning to end its AI-powered drive-thru experiment, which they ran at about 100 locations around the United States, mostly because angry customers reported receiving items that they did not order. Some of the funnier mistakes included 9 sweet teas on a customer's order, an ice cream topped with bacon, and McDonald's partnered with IBM and I think also AOT to build these kind of systems. And what they've decided is that they're going to end this program July 26th, but they are likely to reintroduce it at a later time, meaning they got their test data, they figured out it doesn't work, so now it's going back for retooling. Don't worry, McDonald's is not going to give up on replacing workers. That's not going to happen. Rather, this particular solution just didn't work out. Here's another one. You can see this lady, she got 9 sweet teas added to her order for no reason. She ordered vanilla ice cream without caramel, only for the machine to add cream packets instead for some reason. It's hard to get water. Here's another TikToker. She was at 20 orders of McNuggets were added to her bill for no particular reason. There's videos of people arguing with the AI robot, trying to figure out what in the world is going on. And yeah, this is honestly the expected result. I think it's very funny. The futurist in me really wished that it had worked, that it was very successful, and that, you know, our artificial, basically not to replace workers, but more so that our technology is good enough that we could do that, but it's obviously not. And yeah, this was kind of a huge failure. I would imagine we don't see this again for like maybe another 2 years, because ain't no, I don't know. I was gonna say nobody wants bacon topped ice cream, but ice cream with candied bacon's actually pretty great. Even after the disastrous launch of Windows Recall AI, which literally spied on everything that you do on your entire computer and fed it into an AI, Windows is determined to ruin customer privacy, this time quadrupling down by making Windows 11 automatically enable OneDrive folder backup without asking user permission first. In case you're unfamiliar, OneDrive is the Windows version of probably something like iCloud or Dropbox, or just a cloud storage system that people could use to store their photos and access remotely. It's a pretty basic product. But there are privacy concerns with putting anything on the cloud, especially with Windows 11 that loves to spy on you and feed all of that into an AI. And now that's enabled by default. Previously, OneDrive is something that would be on the computer, it would have a pop-up. Speak of the devil. It would have a pop-up. You would have to ask, hey, do you want to enable OneDrive? Do you want to create a Microsoft account? Do you want to do this thing? Hey, do you want to do your OneDrive? It's really cool. It's like iCloud and Dropbox. Please do it. Well, now it's just turning itself on and backing everything up. It says quietly and without any announcement. That's very true. They didn't tell anybody they're doing this. So your OneDrive folders on your Windows PC are just going to start taking desktop pictures, documents, music, videos, everything, and backing them up to a Windows folder. And you probably won't even know about it unless, of course, you've watched this TikTok. And yeah, that's not concerning at all. Here's a little set of instructions on how to disable that. It's mostly just go to the tray area and turn off the sync and backup and manage it. And I don't think you can even uninstall the program. You just have to stop the backup, because Microsoft wants to force people to use their products and not, come on, man, use that Edge browser. Like, it's so bad. I think that Windows is about to burn its own, as big of a company as Microsoft is. If anybody comes up with anything more private or less invasive for an operating system, Windows is toast. I've got a fun PopSci article for you about a new scientific study that has found several potential Dyson sphere megastructure candidates in the Milky Way galaxy, which is something that I'd never thought that I would be reading, but it's a real scientific study, and they were really looking for Dyson spheres, which, in case you're not familiar, is a theoretical, basically, power plant that an advanced civilization would make, and they would build it around their star, like you see going on in this image here, so that they can harvest all of the energy from a star and power God only knows what in their super technologically advanced society. And there are other versions of it that aren't completely encapsulated. Sometimes it's open, sometimes it's a ring, like in Larry Niven's classic Ring World. which was later used to influence the Halo video games. But this is something that scientists theorized a sufficiently advanced civilization would want to make. It makes the most sense. You harvest the most energy from a nearby star. So what's cool about this is we started looking for them. We took a scan of about 5 million objects, put it through a sophisticated data and an analysis pipeline. And what they found is that there are several objects which are M dwarfs, for which astrological phenomena cannot easily account for the observed infrared excess emission, basically saying that they are observing dwarf stars that they believe are at least partially being harvested for energy, again, like this or like this. And they say that because they can't explain it currently. Maybe there are other explanations. Maybe there are, this is Mr. Dyson himself before he died in 2020 following a fall. So yeah, they're going to do some follow-up observations to confirm the candidates. They're going to try to get better imaging of some of them. If any of them are interesting, we might, I guess, zoom in, so to speak. But it's very interesting that we scanned the heavens looking specifically for this very complicated halo-like structure, and we found some things that are like, that's kind of close. That almost fits the bill. Maybe we should point the satellite that way and see what it sees. So that's just fascinating to me, and I honestly hope that we find one of these Dyson spheres, because that is going to change everything we know about everything. It's not only going to confirm aliens, but it's going to confirm technologies that we would have basically considered to be magic. So that would be really cool. I'm really excited about this. The biggest strain on the Texas power grid this summer isn't going to be people's air conditioning, but rather artificial intelligence. And then the second biggest strain is going to be cryptocurrency. I first saw this story on Cut News, which is an Austin-based news organization I skim sometimes to find out stuff about Texas, which infamously has power grid failures and blackouts. And this isn't something like an investigative journalist put together. This isn't like a green think tank wanting to dunk on all our coal burning here, but rather the CEO of ERCOT, who oversees our entire electrical grid, says the power grid needs a larger increase than expected to handle an increase in AI and Bitcoin mining. As a matter of fact, they're saying that we need to double our grid capacity in the next decade to accommodate for these new businesses, or the blackouts are going to get even more frequent in our state. And we have our lieutenant governor wanting to regulate this industry more. They're supposed to register with ERCOT if you're mining cryptocurrency and stuff like that, but only about half of the companies have. They're wanting to grow the grid from 85,000 megawatts to about 150,000 megawatts. Bitcoin mining and AI data centers will be responsible for more than half of the added growth to the Texas grid. Not our state population, not industrial business, not changes in technologies, but just Bitcoin mining and AI are going to be responsible for half of our entire power grid usage. That's data centers for AI workloads, more or less, and of course mining is just running all the GPUs on the planet. As the article points out, this comes at an unusual time because Texas has declared itself open for business for these industries, but the political climate towards coins and AI isn't looking so great. So what's really worrisome to me is that ERCOT is not always the most forthcoming company. They're not always the most honest about how the conditions of the grid are or its reliability. And even the CEO of ERCOT is saying that we have a major problem here. And I don't think we're going to handle it. Texas hasn't been handling anything right for like a decade now. So there's no way we're going to get this right. These poor guys here in this little data center are going to be working so hard trying to keep power open just for essential services, while Bitcoin miners and AI databases just suck that power down. There's no way we're going to be able to double our power grid in the next decade. And that's really sad and really frustrating, and I am going to lose my mind if I get a rolling blackout or brownout this summer so that somebody else can just keep mining Bitcoin.